music. Yeah, interviews and shit. Oh yeah, you gotta hop onto the Spotify on Discord, Sonny. Duh.
Good. It's good instruction.
A little Spanish vibe going on. Okay, okay, Sam.
How do I do that?
Right click on Sage's name and it should
Bro,
give
this
you a
is what
list
I
of
be
songs.
listening when I'm fucking racing around city.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Bro, I got some fire ass songs all over the place like this.
Ah, everybody, get the fuck up, everybody. We live. We all haven't been live in a minute. We've been doing this on demand bullshit, man. Wake the fuck up, man. Can't even take this. You guys are insane. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? We here. All right. So, Sonny, before we got live, you was telling us how before you used to have sex with cows in your family's farm, right?
Only the spotted ones.
Oh, all right. All right. Good. 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 All right. Cool. That's what's up.
The ones you could spot.
Uh,
Oh
bro,
man, what's going
bro,
on?
Sonny's too bad for you, bro.
What's
He's with the shits.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sage, man. We're having here another episode of the Sage Realm. Today, I'm not by myself. I got a special guest and two co-hosts with me in the Sage Realm. So, of course, I got my boy Coin, my right man, my straight hitter, and I got the sniper all the way at the up top, Trash Panda chilling in the dumpster. But today, man, I got my special guest to start off this interview episodic thing going on here. I've met him a couple of about 2 months now, right? About 2 months.
2 months?
I think it's been
4,
longer.
5
Yeah, I think it's been like
months?
5 months, 6 months
Damn,
almost.
Jesus Christ! Oh my
And
goodness,
his
fuck.
Time
perception of
flies.
time is horrible.
I'm so old. Okay, so yeah, about 5 months. I met this dude in GTRP, coolest guy in the world. Doesn't look like his picture on Discord at all, boy and girls. All right, like this dude catfishes on the regular.
Yeah.
Um, the sorcerer supreme of coding, my main man, TrueSunnyD, man. Let's give it up, man. Let's fucking go. Yeah, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First ever episode of the Sage Room. We're having you on here, man. How you feeling, bro?
Doing great. It's a Sunday, can't complain, it's a weekend.
It's patch day. Yeah, it's a good day.
Patch day.
You know,
Exactly.
happy things. We are gonna interrogate you, get some spoilers out there for the patch. But we're gonna ease on into that. Sam's getting his torture tools ready. We're getting the torture table set up for all that stuff. So for now, let's have a good time, bro.
I mean, Street
So
Side does have a torture room now.
so let's talk.
I plead the
Let's
fifth.
let's go back a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So when I first met you, right? First things first I saw was a military background. You had the picture. It was a crazy on the time crunches. So I actually, if you did military time before, and you said you had this crazy story that started us to get here. So I just want to ask before we get into what happened with the military. I would like to ask, why did you think about joining the military in the first place? Like, what was your POV in that point in time?
Well, so I mean, as literally we were talking the other day about this, I know a lot of people join the military because of benefits, but I
Mhm.
mean, on all honesty, it's just a perk. When I joined, I I mean, there was a few reasons. One reason's probably not podcast friendly, but the other main reason is, essentially like shit was, kind of getting really interesting, obviously, between what would happen. This was back near, let's see, when I joined, it was the day before the 2016 election. So
Okay.
regardless of how it turned up, I signed up for a 6-year contract with the Colorado Army National Guard.
Okay.
And I joined because, at the time there was heating allegations with Afghanistan. And so regardless of how that turned out, like how I thought of it was, I want to be that brick wall that prevents any person from hurting my friends or family.
Heard you. Heard you.
So, that's essentially why I joined, was because of the uncertainty of like things that were going on. And I mean, today now more than ever is just freaking ridiculous, obviously, with the shit going on in Ukraine and Russia and US involvement or whatever it may be. It's just been
If
an
you
insane last year and a half, to say the least.
if you never had your experience with the military that you have now, that we're gonna touch about, would you still sign up for the military and be that wall to defend our country, or has that mindset or notion just left your heart fully?
Up until 2 years ago, I would say I would do it all over again. But yeah, the last 2 years of my military career is like actually kind of right when COVID started, was when it was like everything kind of turned into like a major shit show. um, because when I initially joined, I joined in for infantry, and I was actually stationed down in a weaponized unit on, specifically, I was trained on Humvees, and I was a 240 gunner, and I had an ITAS missile launcher on the Humvee as well. And so that is what I trained with for 4 years of my career, and then the last 2 years was just a freaking nightmare, and I can get into that if you want. Um, it was just, yeah. Do you want me to go into it?
Please, oh my God! So let's do this chronologically. Let's start off,
Yeah.
like, let's hear the whole surviving surviving the Coast Guard story. Like, I want to hear it all. Like,
National Guard, right?
yeah,
The
National
National
Guard.
Guard,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Um, so when you say surviving, just like what I did to,
Like, you're like, basically that's just like a play on the surviving R. Kelly thing. So it was just basically me saying, like, your experience in the military, like what you went through, how you went through it, like
okay.
what's what's your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
feels on the military.
So I would say definitely one of the funnest experiences I had, and it's people, um, it depends on how people look at it, but I mean, I loved basic training. It was probably the coolest shit of my life. Um, it was at Fort Benning, Georgia, Sand Hill.
All right,
I
rock
was a
on.
part of Delta 258
Shout out to them.
during my cycle,
Delta
and
258 gang.
so like the first couple weeks of basic training, the first 2 weeks you go through red phase. And red phase is just like pretty much the drill sergeant's like motive to beat you down
Yeah,
mentally
yeah,
and
yeah,
physically and try to like reset you.
yeah,
As and
yeah,
some people term it as like brainwashing you in a way, like in a way.
yeah.
But that was like, I mean, every single day and night you were getting smoked, is what we called. It's just essentially you're having to do like disciplinary, like push-ups, sit-ups, running, all this type of shit just to beat you down physically. Um, and I'll never forget during one of the red phases nights, we all went to bed, and it was like um probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. The drill
Yeah.
sergeants came into our barracks, and they called it a what was it? It was like party lights or something like that. I can't remember how they called it, but essentially they flicked on the lights at like 2 in the morning, threw a couple different colored smoke grenades in the building, and then we got smoked, and we had to get our gas masks on, and we had to do like a shitload of push-ups, sit-ups, like trying to figure out what was going on. We're getting screamed at in our faces, like it was just, that one was a pretty intense night because it was, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how long it went on, but
Did you
It
ever
was
had a Did you ever have a
beautiful.
night when someone was yelling at you for like even like a split second where you was like, I could get up right now and beat the fuck up out of you, and it'll be worth it.
Um,
Like
there were some
just
people in my unit that was like, they come in with that kind of like, I don't know if it's like ego, I guess you'd call it, or just their personality, but they were like, they just did not, some of them did not like getting yelled at. And when Joe Sargent's got in their face, I mean, you could see it. They were like getting ready to want to beat the shit out of them.
yo,
Um,
so it's big. Like so, like do they talk crazy? Like I heard like they talk wild disrespectful to you. Like they be like, you worthless piece of fucking ball sacks that hanging off of your mom's tit. Shut the fuck up. Like, see, someone talks to me like that. We're not. I'm not doing push-ups, buddy. I'm getting up, rolling up my little army sleeves. Like, let's
You
go,
also
puppy.
didn't sign a contract to the
7 years.
government that
That's it.
says you
seven
won't do
years.
those
That's
things.
all it takes for 30 seconds in this box. Bet you're gonna learn. Talk about my mama's tit. It's crazy. Like, that's wild. Like,
And
I
this
don't
is why
know.
you would never be in the military.
Never. Or like also I'll be petty too. Like and then like I'll be in the army and I'll go to Russia. Then I'll be in the other side. Like yo, that ass. I'm with y'all niggas, but y'all gotta kill Sergeant Major Collins first. All right. That motherfucker was talking wild shit to me. Smoke him first. I'll tell you the White House Wi-Fi password. Everything you need to
Somehow
know.
you would die for
Like-
like treason, like week one.
Nah, I'll be like-
high
I'll be like-
treason,
I'll be like,
for
listen.
Wi-Fi code.
I'll be like, listen, Russia. I love y'all. Y'all can't kill me. I love Rocky 4. My favorite.
Yo,
My favorite Rocky. My
Is that the
favorite
dragon
Rocky.
one?
Yo, yeah, my favorite Rocky.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
favorite too.
Yeah, like
You're just gonna
yo,
hear Sukablit in
Bert Bert Kreischer, the machine. He's loved by all the Russians. That's my favorite comedian. Like yo, we got a lot in common, Russia. Like yo, it's just like just don't yell at me. I'm sorry, yeah.
Edward Snowden.
I mean, depending on the drill sergeant, depending on what you're doing wrong, I mean, they'll definitely uh they'll definitely say what they want to or say what they need or want to say. And it just it depends. Like when I looked at it, I'm like, I guess growing up in my lifestyle, it's something more or less that I was kind of used to. So I mean, I guess I handled it maybe better or differently than other people may have. But I mean, overall, like that experience, like that wasn't the worst part of it. I guess the worst part of it for me was like staying up like extremely late, like getting little to no sleep, obviously, and then just keep moving the next day when you're just physically and mentally drained and like you just know you have to keep pushing. But as far as like through the other phases and stuff like that, I mean, probably the coolest thing was obviously being able to shoot an AT-4 rocket launcher and then a hand grenade. That was pretty freaking cool. Got to shoot a hand
Jealous.
grenade and then a Mark 19 grenade launcher, which is an automatic grenade launcher. Just
Hello?
sounds like doof, 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 doof,
I'm
Oh no, thank you.
I heard a grenade. So my nephew, he threw a hand grenade as well. And I asked him, I was like, yo, like, is it like a little bit? Or like he was like, no. He was like, that shit is a lot. He was like, one hand grenade is all you need. In a group of 20 people, you throw a hand grenade in there, 20 people are dead. 15 of them are fucked up. 15 of them are dead, 5 of them are fucked up. Like they're not coming after you. Like they're fucked. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He was like, they're illegal in the streets for a reason. I was like, I just thought they were like little car bombs. He was like, no, car bombs are serious too. He was like, those things. He was like,
Everything's
don't.
serious.
Yeah, he was like, don't listen to Hollywood.
Bro, explosives are insane.
I'm like, I'm like, and I
You
asked
seen
him,
what 1 pound of C4 can do?
like, yo, I don't know. In the show, in movies, in like, it's not that
Looney
crazy.
Tunes, yeah.
Not even that. Like in what's that show in the FBI agents that like fucking I forgot. But they did a little C4 to like a van and just the van blew up, and it was like in Times Square. Y'all know how packed Times Square is.
How big was the brick?
I don't know, but I sent that
Was it like
scene.
a big brick? Because that would not only hit a van.
I sent that scene to my nephew. I remember I sent that scene to my nephew. I sent him mad shit. Like, yo, is this real? Like, before Army people used to show up on YouTube to correct shit for me, I had all my Army and my family friends. All right? And I sent him that clip. I was like, yo, how accurate is this? He was like, okay, 42nd Street, one car bomb blows up, all cars are blowing up in that whole line. He was like, it's a domino effect. He was like, that's how that works. He was like, cars are not protected. I was like, why not? It's arranged. He was like, was the car that the bomb was strapped to protected? I'm like, no. He was like, so what the hell makes it a difference that the other cars are gonna be protected? I was like, that's a good point. You know what?
Astute observation.
It's a keen eye. I see why the military hired you, you son of a bitch. Like, you got good eyes. It's like a rocket launcher. Like, how brolic is that? Like, when you shot it, what did it blow up? Like a tree? 1,000 trees? Like,
So when we were at this like kind of weird shooting. It was like a shooting range, and there was like some old, like busted up tanks that thousands of other people have like shot up or shot
yeah.
at because that's just a generic range that everyone goes to. And so like you would pick like, a spot where you wanted to shoot. And it was actually pretty crazy because like there was not really any kind of when I imagined like firing it, I imagined because I mean you're holding that bitch over your shoulder and then you're engaging your buttons, and once you engage the buttons, you expect some kind of like major like recoil. I don't know why I expected that, or that's just what I thought it was gonna happen, but it really didn't, and it was actually pretty insane. It was just pretty like smooth all the way through. And I did shoot at a tank. It was already busted up, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just shoot at that. But now that I'm thinking about it and kind of thinking back, another really cool thing was detonating a claymore too. That was intense.
And
I'm
Like
so
I
Particularly,
thought,
Call of
I'm
Duty
mad.
IRL.
I'm mad confused. So what the fuck does a National Guard person need to do all this for? Like, you sound like you was doing Al Qaeda
I mean,
training. Like,
so when you go through basic training, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's National Guard people, it's reservists, it's active duty guys, all tied up in one. Um, so you all go through the same basic training. It's just a matter of when you actually go to your unit is when you actually essentially do your real training to what you actually do. Basic training just kind of gives you the basic skills, a variety of basic skills, like as far as, kind of basic learning of, having to do a 9-line medevac, call for fire, all these types of different trainings that you should retain and should remember into the real like career that you have in the military. Um, but I mean, in all honesty, with the route that I went, like all of the light infantry shit that we learned, I forgot probably 90% of it because I was in an up on Humvee the whole 4 years of my career. So I wasn't doing any of that kind of training. um, do I remember it? Yes. Do I remember some of the battle drills? Yes. But as far as like specifics in it, not as much because I forgot about it because I didn't do it since basic training.
no, I
Um,
get. Like, it sounds like, honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, the way how you explain your time in the military right now, it sounds mad fun. Like, you show up, it's like a fun little anime. You show up, you throw hand grenades at tanks that the
Shoot
world don't care about.
bazookas.
You shoot bazookas, claymores. I didn't even know those were real.
An
They still
automatic
use that.
grenade
Like that's
launcher.
wild. Like, so when you drop a claymore, is it also like in Call of Duty? Like, do two red lines pop out, or like do you have to
I
make those
mean,
lines?
the Claymore looks exactly how it is. I mean, it's got the front facing and it says front towards enemy. Like it's all like looks exactly how
Oh,
you
it
would
has
imagine. Like
instructions
it's
on it. Thank God, because I will fuck it up.
yeah, front towards enemy. But how we had it is we had it like wire guided all the way back behind this big ass berm, and that we had it plugged into like a detonator controller. So like we were kind of sitting way back, hunched back, and I remember just once we detonated, the fucking dirt just shot up into the air, and it shot up like 60, 70 feet, I swear to God. And it was just the impact, what's that called? It's
The shockwave.
shrapnel.
the shockwave. Yeah, you could feel it, and it just like and you're like, oh shit, and like it's just like a holy shit moment.
It
And it's
changed
fucking
the
amazing.
atmosphere.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
like that was the
like
coolest
I'm
fucking thing
saying,
I've ever seen
that
in my
just sounds
life.
fun. So like, why not? Why won't you want to go back? Like, what's up? Like, you don't want to
So
do
that
that no
was
more?
so that was basic training. And that's what I would go back and do. I'd do it all over again. Now in once, leaving basic training, the whole army career, your whole time being there changes. It's not what you did. You don't do any of that stuff really as you did in basic training nearly as much. Depends on
Yeah.
the unit though. Like some units, they'll continue to do like really good training. There's some really good units out there. There's some really good commanders, and they get shit done. They take care of the soldiers. Their soldiers take care of them. And it's just, some people have an amazing career in the military, and then some people don't. And I was one of the people that didn't. But kind of going like moving forward in the first 4 years, like, I as far as like the trainings, we would have different trainings at obviously our home station, and then we'd go on to a bigger military base, Fort Carson, and then we'd do our training on there. As far as where, if we were doing like, driving by lanes for our trainings for the shooting ranges, if we were to just qualify for which by the way, like yearly, you have to qualify for your weapon systems. And obviously to get through to qualify, so you can get, obviously, what is it? You qualify, you can get, each time I've got expert on all the weapon systems. Fortunately, there's one time I almost got sharpshooter, which is rank is a grade below expert, or marksman is the lowest. And luckily I got expert each time. But it was cool because in those 4 years, like I did training like XCTC in Fort Drum, New York, and that was where we went out there for a month, and essentially it was like a big game of just like essentially like you played war. Like each day you'd go to a different training range, and there was different scenarios. So like one of the scenarios would be like we were lined up in our platoon in our Humvees, and there would probably be about 4 or 5 of us, and we would drive down this road, and then the intention was to get ambushed and how you would react to an ambush. And so there was some, and it's actually pretty crazy because the people who are ambushing you are civilian contractors. So they kind of have a lot more leeway in what they can do. I'll never forget. I'm in the turret, and we're driving down this path, and this guy, the civilian who is the enemy, the out four, had this like explosive charge. It was just supposed to just explode. It wasn't supposed to kind of have any actual injuries to people. But I remember he did that probably within 10 feet of me, and that was supposed to represent an IED. And I just remember the explosion going off and all of these fucking leaves and dirt. I like look over and it just fucking hits me in the face. And I'm like, oh shit. And at that point I was marked as hit, and I was supposed to just like kind of play dead. And the person, they call them the window licker in the back, they're supposed to just grab you out of the Humvee turret and pull you down, and they're supposed to switch and get up in the turret. It's supposed to resemble like if the gunner gets shot or hurt, to get him out of there and to get the next guy up so you can keep your weapon systems going. Um, I'll never forget because that was the funniest shit. And I remember talking to the out four guy after, and I was like, "Did you?" I was like, "Was that intentional that you put that explosive like right there?" And he's like, "Absolutely." He's like, "We have a lot more play, like as far as what we
Oh
can do and
my.
protocols and stuff." And he's like, "I saw you," and I'm like, "I'm gonna nail that fucker with some dirt and leaves." And he did it. It was the funniest shit. Um, and then like a year or two later, I went to this was kind of the start of when the shit storm of my career started happening, because we had got called up. We were told that we were going to be getting our first deployment. So through my career, I got told, and I was put in and taken out of 3 different deployment opportunities. So the first one was to Afghanistan, the second one was to East Africa, and then the third one was to Qatar. The first one with the Afghanistan one, I was still in my company, Delta Company, and we We're set out. We went to JRTC, which was in Fort Polk, Louisiana. It's like a pre-deployment training, and essentially what that is you go down there for a month. You have about a month, a little over a month. You have a couple of days to prepare, and then you go into what's called the box, and that's like essentially just war games, but not actually like getting hurt or hurting anyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
And
little scrimmages.
yeah, and I mean that was actually a really fun experience. There was a bounty it's cool because there's like civilians involved too, and you have to identify like civilians. It's actually like an insane simulator. And there was essentially the who we were fighting. I cannot remember to save the life of me what they were called. But they had put a bounty out for my platoon sergeant's head because we kept fucking people up and they didn't like it. And so they put like a bounty out for his head. And I remember during one of those exercises there, like we're driving down this road, and all of a sudden this fucking helicopter just right over the trees, just fucking doing S turns on the road. And all of a sudden we're like, what the fuck? And this pilot is good. And he's obviously an American pilot resembling a different, out of foreign pilot, whatever. But this guy was good. He was just over the fucking tree line doing S turns, and I'll never forget. And he just flips a fucking 180 at the end of the road and just faces
Holy
us.
shit.
And then all of a sudden we're just here like beep, beep, like our shit's going off. And then the guy who kind of, oh man, I can't remember his name either. The O2, I can't remember. The guy who essentially is just there with us. He's like, you guys are all catastrophically killed. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, that helicopter you saw doing S turns and shit did a 180 and fucking shot missiles at you. And we're like, fuck. So we're sitting there.
Right.
Yeah, so we're like sitting there. We had to sit there for the next 24 hours on cooldown. And we just sat there and we're just like, fuck, we can't do anything. We're just sitting there and shit.
Talking wild
Um,
shit. Like, yo, you didn't see the guy shoot the rocket? How was I supposed to know? Like, yo, you
You didn't hear the
stupid.
explosion?
Like, you didn't hear the shit? Why you thought he was doing that, huh? Because he was trying to be cool? Like, yo, now we
How
stuck
couldn't you
here.
clutch?
Like, yo,
It
for
was
real.
just
Like,
insane how fast that pilot maneuvered because we couldn't missile lock our ITAZs on there because the trees were fucking blocking it. We couldn't really shoot much at him because we're going to be shooting fucking trees at that point. And by the time he had fucking flipped and came at the end of the road, he was already locked onto us and we were done. It was like, God damn, I
Was
don't
that
want
was
to.
that for that skill set that he had at piloting, is that common or was that really extraordinary?
Um, I would say so. It's not so for your basic pilot. Obviously, there's a lot of depending on what branch or what route you go to become a pilot. There's extensive training that you have to do. But these pilots that are down in Fort Polk, Louisiana, that's all they're doing. That's all they do is fly and get extra training in. And so the maneuvers that I think he was doing, he had been there for a minute, and he was just like really showing off his skills.
Okay.
And then yeah, really, because I don't think like your basic your basic newer pilot is gonna want to, or maybe not necessarily know how to maneuver exactly like he did. Like you could tell he is a seasoned pilot and he's been doing that shit for a while with how he did his
And
maneuvers.
it was a chance for him to kind of show off his skills.
And yeah,
And
to
that's
show us.
formulated for yeah.
Yeah.
And being like, look at these rookies.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna show these bitches. And so I remember too, because the next couple nights it was so funny because um when we got resurrected and we came back into the box and we were set up in a defensive position. And I remember these two fucking helicopters like lighting up. They were we were kind of set up in this field and it was full nighttime and you can't see shit. But what the ITAS has is has thermal vision. And so I can see through my thermal vision. I see these fucking two helicopters kind of going back and forth, fucking up the light infantry units that were kind of set up in a defensive position. And so it was funny because um, I was getting ready to lock onto it because uh, we were definitely within firing range of trying to take one out. But the issue is if you try to lock onto it per se, um, like enemy helicopters or even tanks, they'll get like a huge loud. It's the same thing like in Call of Duty. Like if you're in the chopper gunner and all of a sudden somebody with a fucking missile launcher locks on, you hear the fucking bells and whistles ringing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, same shit. And so you have to be very careful with that. And what we ended up doing just to fuck with that pilot was I asked the TC, which is the truck commander of my truck, and I said, "Hey, can I just laser guide it a couple times just to fuck with him?" And he's like, "Yeah, do it." And I laser guided him a couple times. You see the helicopter just fucking whoa, like all of a sudden trying to do all these fucking maneuvers, and all of a sudden you see a couple flares pop out, and I'm like, just fucking with him the whole time. He couldn't find me though, and it was funny. So I kind of got him back for that. But
Again, sounds like a fun anime. Like I'm not understanding.
Exactly.
I'm missing the points, man. I'm missing where the then Russia took over. Like I'm waiting for that type of thing to happen. Like what? Like man, it sounds so much fun. Like honestly, you almost make me want to sign up. Like
I'll tell you what, it's got its fun moments, but there's a lot of fucking shitty moments, and some of the shitty moments is like the amount of times you got to stay up fucking late, super late. You get very little sleep. Like the first night going into the box, and this was a shitty story for me. Was we were supposed to go in. We were supposed to escort in Charlie Company in at nighttime, like right around midnight. Well, so no. First, what was supposed to happen was we were supposed to get sling loaded, and what a sling load is there is our Humvees are supposed to get attached to Chinooks. We were supposed to get flown in, drop our
Yeah.
Humvees, and we were supposed to be in the box. That didn't happen because of the weather. So then we were supposed to escort in Charlie Company into the box, and the Charlie Company's first sergeant was in my truck. And so I'm sitting up in this turret, and when you're up in this turret, you're like in this sling, and it's not comfortable. And all of a sudden, like we're just kind of like waiting. And this first sergeant comes in, sits down. It seems like we're getting ready to fucking rock, go in at night. Nothing's happening. All of a sudden, he gets out of the truck, leaves the door open, and I'm sitting in this turret. 2, 3 hours later goes by, and at this point, it's fucking raining, pouring rain. I had to get a poncho liner, throw it over the turret so we could get kind of dry. But I'm still sitting in the turret because I'm still thinking, oh, okay, we're about to go. Nothing. And at that point I fall asleep in the fucking turret kind of slanted, and then I wake up and I tell my TC and I look down, I'm like, where the fuck's this first sergeant? He's still not here? I'm like, hey sergeant. I was like, can I go? I was like, can I get out of this fucking turret and like sit down and actually kind of close my eyes? He's like, yeah, get out of it. The motherfucker never came back that night. And the next morning I'm fucking drenched and we still hadn't moved. And that first sergeant, of course, didn't have the audacity to come back, close his fucking door that he opened, let alone tell me, hey, we're not going. Get your guy out of the turret as I'm sitting on this little fucking string.
oh
And
yeah.
I was drenched. And so the next morning at that point, my morale was like zero fuck. So I took off my boots and my socks and I sat them on the Humvee trying to get my feet dry because trench foot is legit. Like if your feet is wet, that's not good. You want to get that shit dry as quick as possible or you can get trench foot.
What is that? What is trench foot like? What happens to your feet?
It's trench foot is like it's like a, I don't know if it's like a fungus
Like
necessarily.
kind of like athlete's foot, but to a higher degree.
Yeah, and it can cause like severe pain. Um,
Probably open sores and shit like that. And
yeah,
Yeah.
cut your feet, and when
It's
your feet
basically
are
like a
out,
bloating.
yeah, and when your feet are exposed like that, like your feet, like it hurts to
you need them
walk.
to walk. Yeah.
Yep. Some people have lost their foot because of trench foot, like they've had to get, they had to get their foot cut off. That was huge in Vietnam era. That's a big reason why we fucking lost that era. It's because of the terrain. It was just so fucking wet. People were getting trench foot like no other. Like it was just bad. And so that's what I mean. It's what you still can get today. And so
Damn.
that was a pretty shitty experience. And there's a lot of like shitty experience. I mean, like every night you're sitting there doing this training, and you're just ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden they're like, all right, who's going to be pulling night guard? Like, and they have to pick your sequence of people who are pulling night guards. So that's you getting up for an hour in the night doing nothing, and you have to be awake while everyone else is sleeping. And it's a training simulation. It's a really good, like, looking back at it, it's like it makes sense why you do it, because if you're out in the legit, Afghanistan somewhere, that's generally obviously when people try to ambush you, is a lot of people try to do it at night. And you want to have a night guard awake so that if something happens, or if you see something, if something's going on, then we're ready to react and wake everyone up and, like, let's fucking go. Um, so I mean, it makes sense, but it still sucks when you're doing a training. Like, I know there's no fucking person out there. Like, let's just, our training's done. Let's sleep. Like, we had to do it before. Like, we understand it. So there's like a lot
I
of
hear that. Yeah.
repetitive shit like that. And then there's even days where it's like you go throughout the whole day, and there's like shit, you get your shit done by noon, and you're like, all right, can we go home? And your commanders keep you there till fucking 6 o'clock because they didn't get their shit done. And so you're just sitting there for like 6, 7 hours wondering with your thumb up your butt, like, can I fucking go? And
Jesus Christ.
you're just sitting there, and they're like, they'll find additional bullshit things for you to do. And it's like, this is stupid. And so, as much as it has, it's a lot of fun times.
Mad fun, yeah. A bunch of bullshit
there's
connected to it, huh?
there's a lot of bullshit connected with it.
So was the pay worth it? Was the pay?
No. So the first four, and the reason why I say this, so for me, for the first 4 years, where I was stationed, it was about 3.5, 4 hours away. So each time I went to my training, to my drill, I would drive there, and essentially the drill pay that I got for that weekend would pay for my fuel and my food. So
Okay.
essentially, I was going to drills for free because of where I lived.
Okay.
And it wasn't until about 4 years after is when they started finally giving some kind of travel voucher. Like, if you lived 100+ miles away from your base, then they'll give you like 10 cents per mile.
Okay.
But I didn't get that benefit because of what had happened. So right when COVID started, we were supposed to get put on deployment for Afghanistan and went to JRTC and stuff like that. They were saying, like, okay, well, there's one weaponized unit in the whole battalion. And so they thought in their mind, what we're going to do is we're going to split up Delta Company, which is my company. We're going to split you up into all the other three companies, Bravo, Charlie, and Alpha. And then you're going to train them, work with them, and deploy with them. And it's like, okay. And we've got less than a year to do all of this. And the trainings that we have, I mean, National Guard, you're 1 week in a month generally, and then you've got 2 weeks out of the year for like the summer for your annual training. So you're not doing this every day, and you don't know these guys very well. And so that I thought was interesting. But at least at this point, I had some people that I knew with me that I trusted, that I've trained with for 4 years consecutively. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to be so bad. Well, then we were getting to it, like a couple drills go by, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're gonna everyone who is from Delta Company, you're gonna go back. And then you're just gonna go back to Delta Company. So that happened to everyone except for me, for whatever fucking reason. And they decided, okay, now you're gonna go to Bravo Company instead. And so they sent me off to Bravo Company. So at this point, I went from Delta Company to Charlie Company, and now I'm at Bravo Company. So I get the Bravo Company, and they were on this. For them, this was their deployment list for East Africa, and East Africa, from what I know, is dealing with Al Shabaab over there and just all the stuff that was tied with them. And so at this point, I know absolutely fucking no one in this company. And they were like, okay, we're going to, 5, 6 months, we're going to get you guys set up and you're going to go. Well, a drill or two goes by, and they're like, you know what, Al, we took you off the list for this deployment. We're going to send you back to Charlie Company. So they had sent me back to Charlie Company. And then a drill or two goes by to where they're like, okay, well, we don't need you. We're going to send you back to Delta Company. So I get sent back to Delta Company. Another drill or two goes by, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna send you to Alpha Company." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Is
So I
this
get sent to.
is this because you're kind of getting the wheels turning and getting the ball rolling, and then they're like, we can take it from here, go over here now,
Oh, that's a
or
good. Yeah,
was
that's
there
a
a
good idea.
reasoning at all?
Yeah.
It
Were
was
you?
just the unorganization. I mean, what should have happened from there is they should have sent me back to Delta Company with the other Delta guys, and they didn't. And they just kept moving me from roster to roster. Now, keep in mind, and I'm going to kind of backtrack on this because it gets worse.
Oh God.
So I got sent to, at this point, I had gone from Delta to Charlie to Bravo to Charlie to Delta, and now I'm at Alpha. And
Okay.
now Alpha's saying, like, okay, we're going to go to Qatar. You have to leave in a month. We are like, you are getting your shit. You have 2 days to get your shit, say your goodbyes to everyone, make sure your fucking life's in check, and you're going. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, to Qatar, it's not a combative fucking area.
Actually,
Like, why are
not at
you
all.
trying to? Yeah, it's like, why are you trying to set me up in set me for failure in 2 days, and I'm just gone? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? So then I think they had realized that, and they had transferred me over to battalion. So I was just sitting kind of in this battalion area, pretty well, not knowing what the fuck to do, where to go. And then eventually I went to Alpha Rear, and that's where I ended my career, was Alpha Rear Detachment. Now, during these times, I was
Alpha Rare
supposed to
is what?
get, it's a rear detachment for Alpha Company. So
So
Alpha Company is the company that went to Qatar,
yeah. So
and
you
then
worked
Alpha
in.
Rear
You was the
is the rear
backup.
attachment. Yeah, essentially backup is the best way to
Okay.
put it.
All right.
Um, and so during this, um, I had the cops called on me twice because they said I was AWOL, and it was actually because I was on a different company's books when I was pushed to a different company. So they had said I was AWOL twice falsely. Like cops showed
So it
up.
was oversight.
Yeah, they didn't have any fucking track of me, and they
Oh
were
my
thinking I was still
God.
on one book and I was on a different book. So I've had the cops calling me twice for being listed as AWOL. Um, the on one of them, like, and I still have the voicemail. I'd have to find it, but the sergeant, like, I don't know how. So this is what's even more crazy. This is where it gets interesting. So on my military record, my mom was the only one at all ever listed on my any of my papers. This person somehow got a hold of my dad. I don't know how. Doesn't that I don't have any of my dad's record, any kind of information, anything on my military
Military
record.
shit. Military shit. I'm not
And
surprised.
just calls my dad and leaves him a fucking threatening voicemail like your son's fucking AWOL, yada yada yada. My dad calls me, he's like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" I'm like, "How'd they fucking get your number?" He's like, "Because you're not listed on there at all." So how'd they get that? So I'm still trying to
Military,
figure
they
out.
know everything.
Well, I pretty positive the guy who did it, he did it illegally. He wasn't supposed to do it the way he did it, and he did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, at this time, going from, Delta to Bravo to Charlie. No, sorry, Delta to Charlie to Bravo to Charlie to Delta to Alpha to Battalion to Alpha Rear. I got transferred 8 times in a year. This is all in a year span. 2 times is even barely unheard of in the military. And you talk to any other military person, you say, "Hey, is being transferred 8 times a lot?" Like in a year, and they're like, "What the fuck? What happened?" Nothing on my fault. I was never a bad soldier. I was never
Yeah.
a shit bag. I got my shit done. If I was told something, I did something. I did it. The amount of travel time that I had to do. I mean, even when I first got transferred from Delta to Charlie, I traveled 11 hours of driving in one day when I was told I got transferred. So I drove 4 hours down to Delta. They said, why are you here? You need to go to Charlie Company. Grabbed my
Okay.
shit, drove across state up to Charlie Company to be up there. And I never got reimbursed for any of that time of driving, anything like that. Um,
Oh my God.
it
So
was like,
do you think maybe it's because of the whole COVID situation? Like you told me, you said earlier that it was because of COVID you want to chuck that up to COVID craziness? Like, you know, the whole world did do it up.
What
And
was
oopsie.
with the going off of that? Because everybody's lives obviously changed in society. Was there anything different in the military that something like us civilians just wouldn't know about that COVID affected?
Um,
Yeah, tell us some
yes.
military secrets.
So when COVID started happening, obviously they were following the guidelines, the CDC guidelines. So if we were, you know, if they wanted people to wear a mask, we were having to fucking wear a mask. And it ultimately decided to they enforced COVID shots among the soldiers, all soldiers. And if you weren't getting the COVID shot, you're getting kicked out. Well, this is kind of where this also kind of ties into me. So my sister is a pilot, and she had to get the COVID shot. And when she's full blood, keep in mind. And when she got the COVID shot, she almost died. She went to the hospital and almost died because she had some kind of major allergic reaction, like almost did not pull through.
Yeah.
And so that was enough for me to say, okay, yeah, I don't want it. I don't want to fuck with that. I could get the exact same reaction. It could be worse for me.
Yeah.
We just don't know enough about this. And it's not that I'm a for or against COVID shots or anything like that. That's completely up for you to decide. I'm not one to judge, but just me personally, and seeing how it was with my sister and her almost dying from it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pass on this. And so I put in a refusal for it. And then they were like, and this at this time, this is my very last year of the guard career. And so they're like, okay, well, you can't show up to drills or anything like that. Well, they had me show up to drills, actually, just kidding. They had me show up to drills for like 4 or 5 months. And then they were saying they were gonna kick me out. And it was gonna be they were very undecided as how things happened, you know, how they were gonna kick me out, etc. Um, and then there was a point in time where they said, don't come to drills because you're unvaxxed. They're saying we're not what was it, combat ready for being vaccinated. Um, which I had every other vax taken care of except for just the COVID shot. And so I was staying at home, and then they said, you know, all right, your contract's going to be about up, so you know, go ahead and come in and turn in your stuff. So I turned in all my gear and stuff like that, and played the rest of that day of the drill there. And then coming to the end of my contract, they still hadn't kicked any soldier out, and my contract ended. So luckily, I mean, regardless, I ended on good terms and with my contract ending. But what sucks about this, and it's not my fault, is I had a bad year, which means I don't get my benefits because of it. And that was when I was getting transferred and I wasn't on books. That's where I get fucked over again. So I don't get my VA home loan benefit. I don't get shit because of
Oversight on paperwork.
because of all the transfers.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't keep track of it. So they marked it down as I didn't have any good years. I didn't have a good year that year. And so I had my very final formation, and I was told, I remember getting this call distinctively, and this is a month ago. This is in October. And the sergeant I talked to said, hey, I asked him, I said, do I need to show up in uniform for this final formation? You know, do I need to be shaved? Because I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to shave. Like, I'm just starting to get my beard back, and I don't want to shave it. He's like, no, dude, you're good. Just go in civvies. You can, you just, kind of business casual. Said, okay, cool. So show up to this final formation, and it's at this headquarters area, and I'm the only motherfucker there that's in civvies and has this full on fucking beard. Everyone else is in their uniform, and everyone is clean shaven except for
Did you just death stare the motherfucker that told you to dress in civvies?
Unfortunately, he was located somewhere else, so I'm like, this motherfucker. And the guy was like, yeah, who told you could come in civvies? And I was like, this is what I was told. And I was like, I was told to come in civvies, and just kind of business casual, and that's what I did. And he's like, okay. He's like, it's not your fault. It's totally fine. I get it. That wasn't your fault. That was the first time I've ever kind of, not disciplined for something that I didn't fucking do, or because of something I was told different. And the guy was actually chill. He's like, it's okay. It's not your fault. You were told to do otherwise, so it's fine. But that was the opportunity for me to the sergeant major of the state came in, and kind of did his briefings and was like, hey, why are you not coming back? Because retention issues are really bad in the military right now, let alone trying to obtain new soldiers.
Wasn't I
It-
saying that, Sam? Wasn't
Yeah.
I saying that to you, bro?
Yeah.
I told you.
It's because people
Yeah.
are realizing the fuck shit they be doing.
Yeah. And so it came around, he's like asking all, there's like chief warrant officers, there's like captains, sergeants. I know I'm like the lowest fucking rank in there. And the sergeant major kind of circles to me. He gets to me and he's like, so, what's your story? And I said, well, how honest do you want me to be? He's like, oh, very honest. I was like, because I was like, do you want the truth? Or do you want to hear what you want to hear? And he's like, oh, no, I want the truth. And so then I laid it into him and explained what I just told you guys about the last 2 years of my career and how it's fucking stupid. And I just want to get out and have nothing to fucking do with it. Because had those 2 years hadn't happened, I would probably be in the Guard for 20 years and have acquired my full 20 years of service. But
Of course,
it didn't
yeah.
happen like that. And so I told him, and it was to the point where he was like, after this like demonstration or the class was over that he came up to me and he said, hey, here's my email, send me an email on exactly what happened, because I want to know more about this. He's like, that's because there's some there's some shit in there that happened that shouldn't have happened.
Like internal affairs could maybe rectify it.
There's somebody getting their ass chewed for it as they should, because of what had happened. Because the cops called on me twice for no fucking reason, as a wellness fucking check, but we all know how that goes. They
Yeah.
thought I was AWOL. They listed me as AWOL when I wasn't AWOL, when I was on a different company's books. So I got fucked over. It is it is what it is. I don't get my benefits as everyone normally does, and so it's
So
kind of just
let's all agree. Anybody has questions? Sam?
No, I thought
Cohen? No?
if you guys want to pivot to
So I just want to talk about your connection from your time in the military to now you're doing the GTRP server, Prophecy RP. Shout out to that. I know Sonny is too humble enough to plug it himself, but Prophecy RP is one of the funnest fucking GTA cities in the fucking, honestly, in the fucking game, bro. Like I've searched a bunch of them, I've seen them. They're ass. This is actually fun. The community's great. The community's fucking engaging. So just explain to me what happened there. Like, where's that connection from? I'm gonna be in the military, work 20 years, BTRP.
so obviously, so honestly, they didn't have any kind of connection. So when I first started, obviously I've been gaming for a long time, and I first started like GTA RP for, I want to say it was about 5 years ago, with my first server. And the first server I was in it for 4 years. And during
Damn.
those 4 years, I constantly was trying to throw feedback, asking to be a part of the dev team, even though then I had clearly zero coding experience, knowledge. I knew nothing. I just knew I wanted to be a part of it and to help. And for 4 consecutive years, I was constantly trying to ask the owner of that server, like, how can I help? Can I become a part of this team? Was not interested, did not take any lick of interest at all. So then I got to the point where I was like, okay, fuck you. I'm gonna make my own server and I'm gonna learn this shit myself. And when I did that, I'm like, oh, this shouldn't be too fucking bad. I know it's like coding and stuff like that. It ain't gonna be too fucking bad. Little did I know the nature of the beast I was getting myself into. And I remember like starting out this coding journey. I started out on like an ESX based server, and there's like there's like three main frameworks. There's ESX, QB Core, and then VRP. I started out with an ESX server, and it got to the point, I kind of worked with that for like 8 months, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking scrap this and start over again. Because I'm like learning and trying to figure out all these fucking errors. I had no idea this Lua language, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I'm like, what the fuck is all this shit? So I'm like, I'm gonna scrap this, try again, and I'm gonna try it on the QB Core framework. And that's what I did. And that's what I've been working on for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. And I've been plugging away on it ever since. I When I first started this prophecy server, I started out with another guy. His name is Stokes. He ended up leaving. His Discord got hacked, hence why he's still showing in our main Discord. He's like the owner of the Discord, but his shit was hacked, and he never fully transferred it over to me as he should. And he's with another community now. So I've been doing this, pretty much since release started. I've been doing it all by myself. Uh, Coding. I mean, every minute of every extra minute that I had in the day, I was grinding away, coding. I pulled multiple all-nighters on the weekends to try to just keep pushing forward, keep getting this server ready, more and more ready for the launch. I can't tell you how many nights I had to pull 24 hours. I pulled 48 hours before, just
Wow.
grinding away.
Wow.
I definitely have poured my blood, sweat, and tears into doing this server while at the same time learning how coding works and learning coding at the same time. So I'm 100% self-taught, 100% like what you see is in the servers from my learning experiences, and now people have kind of seen like it branching out into more and more details of what you can do in the city. Now, not all scripts are mine, of course. That's
Yeah.
I
That's what
guarantee.
Yeah.
I was wanting to
Yeah,
ask you about the coding aspect of it. Since you learned kind of from scratch, did you pick anything up that was original that it's like this is Sunny's style of coding, or this is just my techniques? Were you able to do that learning from scratch like he did?
yes. So that's like in the server. There's like a lot of the existing base QE framework scripts that were there. There was I mean, it was a good kind of like foundation for that. Say like the police job, but there was a lot of shit that's in there that I added myself and I coded in myself because going from that first server that I was in, I was like, I know that it could be a lot more detail. And that's what I mained was a police character in that other server. So I was like, okay, this is what this should have. This is what it should look like. And I knew like the quality of like each script of like what they should be, what each job should have, and like adding more additional things to keep players engaged. And like that's the biggest thing, obviously, that I see lack in other servers is like jobs, like it's a good population. There's a lot of people, but people get so bored when there's even a lot of people in there. That was because of the jobs not having a lot more like keeping you in like
Yeah.
focused. Yeah, there's not as much depth in each job script, and so that's what I've been doing and focusing on more and more and more for each job is like the amount of things to keep you engaged, to keep you going, like a grind aspect, so you're not getting bored. And like detail is what I've been focusing on. And so like as far as like the coding side and what I've created from scratch is like one of my very first scripts that I created from scratch, and I'll never forget it, was a vehicle sell script where you can sell your vehicle anywhere on the map. If you own the vehicle, you can put it up for sale, and anyone
Wait,
on the
that's
map.
custom.
That's custom. And there's a couple of
Talk
other
your shit,
things that
Sonny.
I've
Yeah,
made.
that's custom, Sam. Fuck out of here. What you thought? That was he got that shit from G Mods or something?
Oh no,
Nah.
honestly, it is true. I don't think I've seen that in any other city.
Is there a way to patent a code like where you could be like, hey, if anyone wants to use this, give me, royalty rights or something like that?
And there's a bunch of places where you can sell codes and stuff like GitHub and stuff.
So the way to do it now is there's a new 5M escrow system. And that's essentially like where you can download the script. You can't see all of the code so that people can't steal all of the code, but they can use it on their server. And that's done like generally through Tibex and CFXRE and your keymasters and stuff like that. Um, so there's definitely ways to do it, and I can sell it so other servers can have it without stealing my code and taking full credit for it. Um, that would probably be the best way to do it. Um, and then let's see, the other script that I'm still working on, it's been a big pain in my butt, is it's a forensic lab script for police. So when QB first made their framework, they really screwed up on their weapon serial numbers and their weapon serials and where it's placed, and it's placed within the description of the item in the database. Um, I had to make it to where it was a completely new table. I had to alter a bunch of scripts on my own, and I was figuring it out to where I can plug in somebody's serial number into the database, enter into this menu style deal, and then it outputs your that owner's first name and last name. And I did that with the fingerprint and the weapon serial number, and I made it a twist too. So like with your weapons, if you give a gun through your inventory to someone else, it changes in the database the owner's name. So if I gave my pistol to Sage and then I ran that serial number again, then it'll pull up as Sage's name
Okay.
in the output. And so that's been that's by far my most complex script, and I have yet to see anything else like that out there in the coding world. So I might release that one for other servers to be able to have, but it will be escrowed to where they can't just steal the code and take credit for it.
Good.
Because it took a lot of work. It's been taking a lot of work.
You're
Have
muted,
you
Sage.
had people take some of your work already? Has that been a problem?
Yes, there has been some people that have stabbed me in the back and used my stuff somewhere else.
So do you wanna out those pussies and like find the mafia or not? We're not doing that. We're being
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd fucking love to and call them out on it, to me, it is what it is, you know. It
yeah
sucks, and I'm still in kind of in an awe because, I try to treat everyone with the utmost respect and be nice to everyone. I
yeah
try to be engaged and talk to everyone and stuff like that, and not ever kind of go out and try to do something like that to someone. So I'm still kind of like in to this day, I'm still kind of in shock and don't know like why they took it that far. Or felt like it was necessary to take it that far.
yeah. Like just it's weird, right? Just how like snakes just come all about, right? And they just
Yeah,
show their true colors eventually. Like
yeah,
it's fucking bizarre. And like
and
so let's talk about RP prophecy. Let's talk about the city. So
mhm.
we're about a year in, right, from it going public. Am I correct?
About 8 months, 9 months,
8 months,
8 months
9 months,
ish.
almost
Yeah.
almost a
We're
year.
about a month and a half into wipe.
A month,
Yep.
yeah, a month and a half since the big Thanos snap from Big Sunny D. Um,
Which is also interesting because it was like a lot of people requested it, and then the
And
people
then
that
just
requested it are
I
just
never
mean,
came back.
screwed.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's what I wanted to ask you, man. So like how do you so I remember I was there when the big polls went out, and I remember I was voting against the wipe at first, and I remember I saw two people, two admins that I respected at that time, and they started voting for the wipe. So I was like, you know what, they're gonna do it. I'm gonna vote. And and then we come here and then we hear like all these people. Like I remember I read the conversations on the general about how they felt, and now a majority of people are not even here. How do you feel on that? Like, do you feel like your wipe was worthless? Do you feel like if does it frustrate you? Does it?
um, it makes you wonder. It's like it's interesting, like so this kind of backtracking, this whole scope of it has just been very interesting to see and watch it unfold because something different that I wanted to do with this server that I don't see in hardly any other servers is be an active dev involved in the community and make this server a community driven server.
Yeah,
That's something that lacks so much in the 5M community. It's like these devs are so fucking money hungry and they don't
yeah,
give a shit what your opinions are. And it's like that's
yeah,
not cool. Like you should like as a server owner, you should like be involved as much as you can be, especially because the people who are coming in investing in their time is in stuff that you created. So why wouldn't you want to continue to learn what they want and make it happen and make it
yeah,
fair for everyone? And so
yeah.
that's been my whole goal to switch it from the start. And it's kind of brought in some drama right off the bat because there were some people that flooded in from another server. Because of that situation going on, the dev didn't give a shit about what the people wanted. And so they
Yeah.
came here to give it a go. And there was like kind of like instant drama right off the bat. Ultimately, that server ended up shutting down anyways because they tried to do a 3.0 launch, didn't go the way they planned it, so they shut it down.
Yep.
So, the people that had come in here, some of them are amazing people. Some of them I will consider lifelong friends. These are just awesome, awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it like some people started out awesome and then you could see their real colors and how I can see it right now. And a few people like they're in another server but they'll only pop in here every once in a while and they're still in here and they'll still kind of talk in the chat and it's like kind of throw out shade and it's like, why are you throwing out shade when you're not even in the server anymore? If you're in the
Yeah.
server and throwing out that shade, okay, now that's an issue that I need to fix. But
Mm-hmm.
you're not, and you're throwing out this shade, and you're not
Yep.
in the server at all. Why are you in my Discord? Why are you in this prophecy Discord when people are trying to RP and have a good time, and you're just trying to ruin the vibe?
Throw a wrench
Um,
inside the fucking machines. Yep. I don't like that.
exactly. When you're not involved, and it's like I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what? They might be having a bad day. Who knows? I don't know. Everyone has their days, but like they're just I mean, they're clearly salty about something. They refuse to talk to me directly. Like my DMs are always open. I mean, I get a shitload of messages a day about the server, stuff in the server. So I try to respond as quickly as possible. I sometimes takes me longer than I'd like it to. That's just because I'm flooded with messages, just trying to take care of everything, trying to code and stuff like that. And obviously trying to have my life as well. So
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, of course.
trying to
Like,
balance it all out.
yeah, I could definitely see how it could be frustrating. I only like it's like, I had my problems and we had that Bahama thing going on and now I'm back and whatnot and like I see an uprising in the city, but then at the same time I see the same, 7 people I fly in with that are probably there. And it's like,
Yeah,
damn. It's like, damn, like I wish people would just keep flying in. And I don't really understand the double city hopping system either. Like that's a lot of work. Like that's
It's
like
so
playing the
much work.
that's like playing the same game twice.
it is a lot of work. And it's interesting and it sucks because like advertising for servers is hard, right? I mean, obviously we can utilize our social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to, whatever, maybe YouTube. Um, but the issue is it's all gotta be word of mouth when it comes to true advertising. And that's all the server has been
Yeah.
so far is word of mouth, like saying, yo, come in and try this server. It's a good server, try it out and then you run into people who are obviously very loyal to the server that they're currently in, and that's okay. But that's the biggest like freaking blocker right now is essentially in the 5M community, it has to be word of mouth of popularity, or people or like somehow get a big ass streamer into the city trying it out. And all of a sudden, his watchers, his communities coming in to try it out and realize they like it.
Yeah. But you're not really going for the popularity thing, right? You're doing the niche following route, trying to get a good community going.
I want a good community, absolutely. I want to get the I want to get the server out there because I've poured so much time, so much effort, my blood, sweat, and tears into it. I not to try to toot my own horn, but it's a good quality based server compared to a lot of other servers that are out there that are extremely popular, which
I
blows
agree
my
with
mind.
that. I agree with that
And
100%.
and that's because I put in the time, I put in the work to make sure it was good quality stuff. Now, obviously, is it perfect? Absolutely fucking not. I'm still trying to learn coding. I'm still trying to perfect my craft, and that's going to take time. But I know it's a lot better off than how these other servers are. Um,
Oh
Not
yeah.
trying to rag on them by any means. It's just I listen. I've been there. I'm an RPer myself, and I know what's good and what's not good. And so It's at this point on, it's pretty much just word of mouth and people going out into to their other friends and saying, "Hey, you should at least just try it out, see what you think, play on it for 30 minutes. If you like it, you like it. If you don't have to keep playing." It's as simple as that. But I know once people fly in and play for 30 minutes, see a lot of the features that they have, the phone, the inventory system, the items, the things that you can do. I know it'll hook people.
Yep,
It's just they gotta give it
I
a
still
chance.
have the high score in 2048 in that city in the phone games. So I just want everybody to know. I see since I've been gone, you guys been trying to beat it. You guys have failed. So humbly, from right here, I want you guys to know you guys are pieces of shit. You guys can never top me. Understand your place in this
I
universe.
just haven't tried yet.
Respectfully, though, right? Respectfully.
Respectfully, 100%. Humbly, respectfully as fuck. But I just want y'all to know in 2048 it's my
Yeah,
shit.
I just haven't tried yet.
No, Sam. I don't need you to try.
He's like, Sam, stop, Sam, stop.
Sam.
Don't be taking my shit now.
Sam. You're already a fucking trooper. You got another cousin that's
bro,
a gang
I'll be
owner.
playing, bro. I'll be playing that shit while running into doors.
Bro, that game is like, yo, I love that. That's like the best thing about that city, is that even when I don't have nothing to do, I can still do something, and it just takes my time. And before I think about it, I'm 25K in my high score, and I just wasted about 45 minutes, and I'm just sitting there like, holy fuck, the city, like, it's like no matter what, like, it keeps you coming. And like, yeah, Coin, I invited you here so you can hear from the creator himself about how great the city is, and to just give it a fucking chance. All right, just you fucking Native American motherfucker, give it a fucking chance. I get it, Christopher Columbus, that was the last time y'all gave something a chance, and then it backfired. I get it. It fucked up. But this is way better, bro. Like, I get it. He looks like Christopher Columbus a little bit, the blue eyes, like, it's cool, bro. I promise you, he's great. He's trustworthy. The city's awesome, bro. Are you gonna download this? Are you gonna download GTA?
Eventually.
I hate
My
you so much.
question is, when is 1.40 coming?
Oh, let's talk about 1.40. Yes.
Pat, I know it's been usually so. Generally, how I've been doing it for the last 8 months since releases, I was pushing out updates weekly. Obviously, in the last month, I've had some crazy IRL stuff going on, so where I had to kind of push this stuff off to the side a bit. But patch 1.40 is expected to drop today.
All right, so let's talk about patch 1.40. What are we expecting? Is Sageway Studio going to be fully operational?
Some tidbits.
So,
Nah.
speaking of Sageway Studio, I mean, keep in mind to the community that's out there listening, I mean, Sage here has an exclusive music producing studio called Sageway Records in city, exclusive for him. And all I had to do was ask, and he shall receive, and he received. And I'm working out. It's
honored.
taken me a lot longer to get what he wants done, but that's because it's never been done in GTA before.
Yeah.
To where it's taken a lot of creativity and a lot of like fundamental stuff that I've got to bring in for him. So unfortunately, Sageway Records is not going to be fully complete, but I am working on that. But there's a new mining map that's coming in with the mining capabilities that you can go there. There's going to be the only thing new other than that map that I added was a completely new tattoo menu and tattoos. Now, what's amazing about this tattoo menu and this new the tattoos is that, which people still have not posted anything in there, is that we could literally put in any tattoo anyone wants. So any kind of design, wherever they want it on the body, they just say it in our Discord chat where they want it, and I can apply that super easy. So you can have literally a Sageway tattoo on your shoulder, on your leg, on your chest, on your back, wherever you want it, and I can get that implemented in within seconds.
So Sage is kind of like he's trying to be like the Suge Knight of the of the world.
Well,
Trying.
I took it more as I'm gonna do so what I'm gonna do to make my money in this record studio is so like how Sunny explained to me how the studio is gonna work is that it's gonna work off of mixtapes. So people in city, you can take your, let's say if Coin wants to dust off the mic and get back into his roots, right? And starts rapping again, right? Becomes wicka 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 coin flip, right? He
There
he
was never a coin flip.
you record a rap in IRL, right? You get that system, right? You'll put it into we'll get it put into the game. We'll burn that into a mixtape. You run that mixtape to Sageway Studios. I'll pop that mixtape in and it'll play on a dedicated radio station.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that correctly? Is that correct?
So
Imagine it's wrong.
along the lines, yes. So like Sageway Studios is gonna have the ability to like for gangs or whoever to come in, create like diss tracks if they
Yeah.
wanted to, and then burn it onto a disc, and then obviously play the diss tracks and whatnot, and have them with CDs, and then trying to create an exclusive like live radio channel within GTA to where when somebody's in their vehicle, like in campaign, you can listen to these like radio channels and stuff like that. Same thing online, but with Sageway, it's being live and recorded live, and where it's streamed, where like Sage can pop on music and Sage can go on and talk and bullshit and say, oh, there's this new fucking diss track that came out about Panda. Panda isn't real. Here's the track, and then
like and
if we
then
want Panda to come down to Sageway Studios and
exactly.
create a fucking diss track about fucking Coin, talking shit about how pandas aren't real,
And then we're gonna have exclusive interviews I'm gonna be doing. Like how like DJ Funk Master who just joined?
Your boy.
Hold on, we're in the middle of something.
Oh my god, Evan, that's so funny because I have it set up that
were-
only participations with a video camera can show up, so it doesn't even show up for me. Evan, I'm so sorry. We're actually in the middle of a recording. If you can stay there quietly and don't say a word, that's fine. Just don't ever turn on your camera. Great. I love what you're doing. You're doing amazing. Shout out to my man Bloodwolf, man. I got 3 of the Escape Beast on right now. Like this is great. It's like Evan showing up is kind of like how like if we're doing like a rap interview, like his entourage just shows up and sits down, This is how it is. I love it. It's perfect. But so what I want to do, Coin, like you remember how like Funk Flex was like in the 90s, like after a diss track would come on, he would just interview them right off the bat and start talking wild hot shit, and then he'll interview the ops the same day, start talking hot. Like that's really what Sageway is gonna be, and it's gonna have it set up
and explosion noises just going on,
and it's gonna be great because little spoilers for everybody there. Like like Sage and Sageway Studios is connected to a gang in the city, and that gang provides protection as long as I give them lawyer work, right? So in my studio, I'm gonna have it kind of like the Continental and John Wick. Like no blood's gonna be spilled, bro. Like I don't care what little gun you got. Everybody that's in Sageway Studios, they got class 3s and they will let it off on you. Like they don't fucking play. Like no blood is being shed. Leave your shit in the trunk. Come in here, say what you gotta say, and then you're out. Like it's gonna be so set up, like how the New York studios are. I honestly can't. I can't wait. Honestly, like I really can't. Like it's gonna be a great fucking time. Which is why I need you in there, buddy. I need you as my guy. Come on.
I understand.
Yeah, it's still right in time.
Eventually.
Oh,
But with continuing on, before we kind of branch out too far, with patch point 1.40,
yes.
there's also going to be a decent phone update. A lot of bug fixtures that there was happening. Like there was like picture issues. There was some music apps issues going on. Essentially, the music and YouTube API has completely changed. This phase is kind of like in beta phase, but it's so far from what I've been testing with it and working on it with it, it's been working really good. Essentially, you can now have a group calling system in the phone. You can have up to 6 people in the phone group calling. The message app design looks different. It's now kind of like an iPhone setup as far as like when somebody else is typing. So like if Sage is typing to me, I can see the 3 dots
Oh
like
my
it is in
god, that's so
iMessaging.
detailed. Stop it.
Yeah. And just basic more improvements onto the phone.
Do you have Android users and you get like the green text message on the iPhone?
Yeah, it's like that, but yeah, iPhone system, it's just the 3 dots. There's emojis, GIFs you can do in the phone system. It's pretty detailed. And then I also to bring people in to have more RP interactions, I added a battery system in the phone to where now the phone has to be charged every once in a while. And then there's charging docks currently down at Legion. So it enforces people to kind of head down over there and to have more RP interactions with each other.
All right, hold on,
Instead
pause,
of
hold
communicating
on.
so
All
spread.
right, look,
I have like 9 phones.
listen. I was a little bit upset when you made the gasoline jerry cans no longer unlimited. That was annoying, but I let it rock, right? And then
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and then first you took away trucking. I let that slide, right?
Trucking's still there. Trucking's still
No,
there, baby.
okay. First
It's
of all,
all
stop it,
there.
stop it. No, it's not. That's not
Yeah, it
trucking.
is.
I'm
So
basically volunteering my services for NPCs to get shit. I'm tired of doing that. All right, I'm getting nickels and dimes. Like they're literally coming up to me, giving me ramen noodles in a cup. Like, hey man, I'm so sorry. Here's this
wait,
cup
wait,
of
wait.
cup of noodles.
So this
This
guy,
is
Like,
he
what they
raised the
paid
price
me.
of gas, got rid of trucking. Do you work for
yo,
Tesla?
Yo, he's a Democrat. I'm telling you, he's a fucking Democrat, bro. He took away. We was making bank in the trucking, all right. It was like the Trump years all over again. 4 more years, baby. We was hauling, just hauling the big 18 wheelers down there, making money. And then he was like, budget cuts, budget cuts, and we're like, all right, yo, let's just. He's gonna nerf it a little bit. He's gonna
We're
nerf.
going electric.
This is how he set us up, bro. Like fucking FBI's. He was like, yo, I'm just gonna nerf it a little bit. He was like, yo, guys, just gonna nerf it a little bit. And everybody's like, oh yeah, let's all vote for that. Yeah, he's just gonna nerf it a little bit. First of all, he nerfed the fuck out of that shit. Like it went from the Hulk to a fucking Furby. All right, like I was like, what? Like literally, I'll do a good trucking job. Get some good
Listen,
workers.
Linda.
They do
Listen,
some
Linda.
good range. Only made $500. What? Linda, you better get your ass back out there in these fucking streets, for I pimp smack the shit out of you. What the hell? And then he did the
So
jerry cans, and now I gotta charge my phone, bro. Bro, I wrote a letter to Samsung to make super fast charging, and now they have it. Is that how it's gonna be? Like super fast? Like I just plug it in and I take it out? It's 1, 2?
here's the thing. Before you get your panties in a bunch here, Sage. The reason, let's backtrack on that, touch base on the trucking. So trucking, how it was is, I mean, obviously it's a system set up to where you got to grind at first, and then you can hire drivers to do kind of the work for you. Well, the issue was is that the payout was so big and people were making so much money from it that they weren't doing anything else in the server for
It
working for
was
money.
Listen, that's okay though, because the server was
No.
small. The whole sense was you get more people in the city. The whole problem was, listen, I'll tell you right now, the whole problem was Deanie. Deanie kept telling everybody that shit. Oh, you know what to do to make money, mate. You go down to the trucking thing and you make like yo, shut up. Yo, only the OG should know. Yo, how do I make money? Yo, go take your ass to the fucking lumber yard and go cut up some fucking wood like the good Wolverine person you are. Go. Go. That's it. That's what we do. But nah, we wanted everybody to eat at the table. So now that everybody's eating at the table, now we getting low budget steak. Nah, I'm good. Get half these people off the table and just like, yo, put back on trucking, bro. That's like secretly, just secretly.
Well, I mean,
Secretly.
you never know. But that was the whole purpose, was to get people to go and do other things other than trucking, because that's only what everyone was doing, was trucking and not
That
trying
is
out
very
fishing, trying
true.
out hunting, trying out gambling at the casino, which, by the way, Sage is banned by the casino because it's
Yeah.
gambling problems.
It's not a gambling problem. It's not a gambling problem. It's not a gambling. Look, I felt like I had the system. And you know what's funny, bro? And the whole reason why I had a gambling system is because of the reason why you took out blackjack. It's because I knew there was a seat that was broken. Because I sat in one seat and I was winning. Like, it was the best game of my life. Like, no matter what, this dude sucked. He was bussing. I was like, yeah. And then I forgot the seat because I smoked weed, right? And my brain's fucked up. So I was like, fuck. All these seats look the same because I'm racist against chairs. So I didn't know what to do. So I kept checking out seats, spending money. But y'all didn't believe in my dream. Like, I was trying to be that guy that got the million first before Sonny found out. But nah, y'all gotta ban me from the casino. Y'all gotta you took the wheel away from me, motherfucker. You thought I forgot about that? You took a whole wheel.
Bro, it's your fault.
Nah, understand. Don't start your shit.
25 of my
Don't start your
kid.
shit. First of all, it was an
You should
investment.
have paid
You should have
25,000 of
been.
my money.
First of all, you did a whole heist. You made $4 million. Did he take away your $4 million? Nah. See? He let you try it, right? I wanted to get in there a little bit. Yo, y'all could have helped me. But nah. And then Skinnerd, snitch ass, goes to my boss and just white whistles the whole shit. Yo, oh my God, $16,000 Sage to the casino. You have a gambling problem? I'm standing next to the judge I first met, like, what?
Bro, when you walked away from me and Caleb, I was laughing so hard. I'm like, he's going to go tell, and I'm.
Oh my God, bro! I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then on stream, yo, Sage, 13,000 and car repairs. Yo, stop outing me, Sonny. Stop outing out my flaws to the world, bro. Like, I don't need niggas knowing about how I don't know how to change my car oil. Like,
It's actually 13,800.
shut up, Sam. No one needed that. That's not gonna be on Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like, no one needed that
bro.
exact
How
number.
much was Sage's car repairs?
Now,
Yo.
Sage. Now, uptracking to the phone situation, touching base just a little bit on that. I
Yes,
did
let's
think
go.
about you when doing this update and the charging systems and stuff like that. Now, you brought up about ultra fast charging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is that in the city.
That's
There's
what I
a
like.
fast charging
That's what I like.
station, and then there's a normal one, and there's a power block you can get in the store that'll charge your phone on the go.
You're like Metro.
So
Now
I
I'm gonna buy a
accommodated.
charging block.
So now I accommodated, right? I mean, it's more flow of money that needs to go, kind of, keep circulating the money flow in the economy in the city, as well as, if people want to go get a charge real quick, they can go down to a charging, station, which is at Legion, and have more interactions down there while they're getting their phone charged. So there is it's like, it sucks a little bit and it's a little bit more you have to do, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's perks to it too if you know how to find them.
I can't. I'm a lawyer.
You can find charging stations.
Yeah, that's legal.
Oh,
Charging
he
power
said,
blocks and stuff.
Nah. That's not how he
Yeah,
said it.
yeah,
That's
no,
not how
no,
he
no,
said it.
yeah.
Yeah, he said. Let me redo what he did. He said, yeah, there's other perks. If you find them, I'm not gonna find them. I'm not gonna find those perks like you're talking
that
about.
attitude.
Sam's gonna find them. Sam's gonna find all of them. I'm a lawyer. I'm a good dude. All right. I drive and people stop me. Okay. I'm on a red alert. Okay. I gotta be a
You're
nice
fucking
guy.
Shitty ass scumbag piece of shit.
Nah,
lawyer.
let me tell you, Coin. Let me tell you, bro. My first real lawyer case, right? Let me tell you,
Oh God, I remember this
I
one.
put out all the fucking stops. There's this dude named Bobby. Now, Bobby was a terrorist in the city. All right, I'm not gonna lie. He was a bad criminal. He was a really bad criminal. But I'm a criminal lawyer, so I can't be biased against that. So I was like, yo, bro, I could get you off. You gotta pay this and that. Once I get you off, you pay me after that. This is how confident I was, cause like I set it up. I called Skinnerd, right? I called my boy Sonny. I'm like, yo, I have a person that has one of your cops' guns. He's willing to cooperate. I know he has a big deal, a big sentence. I just want to lessen that and show good faith, right? That's supposed to be on the back end, so that when we go to court for this, it will look like, oh yeah, he's trying to change, right? whatever. Shit gets crazy. Fucking Skinnerd sends the most gorilla motherfucker to the scene. Not the smartest nigga in there. Not Leroy. Nah, the most gorilla mother. When I tell you gorilla, I mean like one punch he can kill you. He did it to me. There's a proof on TikTok, boys and girls. He killed me in one shot. Okay, he's mad brolic. All he does, he says some shit about a broken dick dog, and then he pulls his gun out. That's all he does. I'll beat you like a broken dick dog. He pulls his gun out, and he's like American badass, dog the bounty hunter type shit. Like I hate him so much, right? Shout out to my man Mikey the Wrench. All right, so he comes, shit escalates, of course. The first thing he said, I'm gonna beat you down like a broken dick dog. You know, doing all that fucking shit. And then shit gets crazy. We go into court. Now it's my time. I'm like, yo, Bobby, it got kind of crazy at this point, but this is where I needed it to be so I could fight your case because this is what I've been doing. So I go up there and I'm fighting my case. And then it's like, I'm gonna say exactly to you what I said to the fucking judge. Okay? I said, hey, how's it going? I said, my client is nowhere near an innocent man. But my client, in his time of vacation, is trying to make amends and he's trying to do new. In his time, he has returned a gun and a badge. And handcuffs and a taser and the taser charges to a cop that he was recently in with, trying to make amends. We're not asking for full pardon, reduced sentence. We're just asking for a show of good faith. I said that, right? Bro, when I tell you these motherfuckers, that shit bounced off of them like they were fucking rubber. They were like, yeah, he's guilty. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. They were like, and then they were trying to make me sound crazy. They're like, yo, you're connecting two cases in one. I'm like, no, I'm not. And the judge is like, Sage, shut the fuck up. Yes, you are. What the fuck? No, I'm not. What the hell's going on here? I'm like, and then I get mad emotional because in the city, the gorilla cop, Kincaid, he fucked my mom in the city. So I didn't like that. So I was like, nah, he fucked my mom. And they're like, that has nothing to do with it. And I was like, so? And then I lost the case. Bobby did like 75 years, right? Not knowing this whole time, as I'm building the case of my life, literally, as we step out, they literally go, so we're gonna let Bobby rot, right? Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, fuck him. Bro, I didn't know that. Put me on game, son. Like, damn.
Bro, the funniest part about that is the jury was a hostage and two criminals that were about to go rob something right after the trial.
Oh man, that was funny. You were so with Sage in the city. He was connecting. It was two different scenarios. It was the same criminal, but it was two different scenarios that you were plugging into one, and it was funny as shit to watch.
Wild on me, bro.
I'm just sitting there in the case, and I'm looking, and I'm just watching, and
The mental
laughing.
gymnastics that they go through getting from point A to B.
I'm sitting there, and I take Sam, right? We're going to like this little closet in the LSE, and I go, yo, Sam, put me on. Like, did I fuck up? And he literally looks at me, he goes, yo, bro, you fucked up. And I was like, this is I was like, bro, I thought I was a good lawyer. Nah, yo, I'm actually a great lawyer, everybody. I want y'all to know. I'm a phenomenal lawyer. My first
I said you fucked up because you took Bobby as a client.
OD. Yeah. Like, it's like,
yeah.
that shit was so funny. Like, it was such a good time. I'm telling you, Coin, see, you just hop in, get into the city. You be my paralegal. I know a guy
the third time that the answer is going to be the same. I will eventually. All right.
No, fuck. No, I won't. I really won't, bro. I really been. Yo, he's been giving me the most excuses. Oh, my internet's messed up. Oh, my internet doesn't work. Oh, he said when I get my new place, I'm gonna try it. He got his new place.
Need a hard drive.
Nah, there we go. Now it's a hard drive.
What?
Bro.
There's a chip shortage.
Yeah.
Gas prices.
Look. We've held Sunny here for about an hour and 35. My brother, it's been fun. Uh, any last thoughts we have for Sunny? Anything else? Anything going for the pilot of this amazing show?
Not really. Just what these guys tell me and show me on their streams. It does seem like you really put a lot of investments into your server, and it seems like you really care about it. So it's cool to see somebody passionate about whatever they
Wait,
do. For me,
that's what you got out of that?
it was a closing sentiment, you little
That's
fuck.
what the fuck, bro. Didn't you hear the
Just because
trucking?
your trucking industry.
Didn't you hear the
that was
trucking
you, that
story,
was
bro?
You. That
My
affected
business went under because of the state. Because he shook
Well, you're a
hands
lawyer
with.
now. Sue the state.
Yo, I
Bro, what do you mean?
Sage.
You were still making Hello Bankhead fucking LLC as well.
Because Sage was a mechanic, a trucker, a fucking lawyer. Sageway Records doing 4 fucking businesses at once, and he went down.
Well, I'm really not gonna lie, bro. I feel no effect after the snap as of now. Like I have the house I bought before the snap. I got my money back so I can get the cars I want. I got my job, my record studio still. Like I'm pretty good. Like, the snap really didn't affect me at all. It's really funny. I have this
Yeah,
good
what are your
fishing gig.
closing statements?
Fuck RP, all right? I actually hate RP. I'm never gonna do RP ever again. I'll probably be on there. Tonight. But
Yeah, I won't see Sage on
Down
that.
there when 1.40 hits.
yo, as soon as that shit drops. Are we able to pet the cats?
just listened to the weekend.
I'm working on that. I am working on that. Kind of touching on this a little bit. If you guys come into the server and hang out and stuff, make sure to check the server change logs to see all the different changes that I do weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
Facts. I
This
read
is
that
a
all the
big
time.
issue that Sage would have and still
No,
has.
Not
He doesn't
true.
read the fucking change logs. He's like, hey,
I read it all the
Sonny,
time.
why can't I do this? Or Sonny, where's this now? What happened with this? I'm like, did you read the change? Did you read the change logs? He's like, what change
Bro,
logs? I'm like, what?
literally,
You play in this server, you don't know what the change
literally
logs
every
are.
Sunday afternoon before you put the server live, me and Sam are gonna get up on here, and Sam's gonna read the change logs on a video, and then we're gonna put that video on the channel change logs, and that way people don't have to read shit. We can just listen.
Oh, speaking of the change logs, Sam, I got to talk to you about what Sage said the other day about change logs.
Oh no! Why you don't gotta do that? All right, guys, we're gonna end the show here. Everybody have a great time. Enjoy your Sunday. Veterans Weekend's great. Fuck the military. I'll still call you